10 out of 17 games. Is that an inevitability?
No, inevitable is that sun's going to come out, sun's going to set. These are things we can change. These are things we can definitely change. So that's the part that is frustrating. Is there mistakes that we're creating by ourselves? I think we're good enough as a team, good enough as individuals. We're all in this together. So at the end of this, the only way to get ourselves out of this so-called hole that you speak of is to do it together.
You look at the youth on this team, a lot of young guys get a lot of minutes here, and that might contribute to some of the scoring woes. What's the vibe among the younger players, you think, in terms of your guys' leadership, you and Clint and other players, and words of encouragement you give them?
I love the young guys on this team. I wish they'd be more willing to make mistakes, because that's the only way, one, you're going to learn, and one, you're going to get better. I think they've done more than we've asked of them. If we're relying on the young guys to get results, we're going to be in a bad position. These are guys who we need to groom, and we need to make sure we can teach them the right things, because they can definitely help us out. But nowhere in the world are you going to see a team where it's all young kids and they're figuring it out by themselves. We need to be there for them. Say what you want, play your kids, do whatever. It doesn't matter if we're not there to guide them and show them the right way. And at times I feel for them, because you could see almost they don't want to make that mistake. And I think that builds up internally, and then they just start doing things not just them, everybody, that they normally wouldn't do throughout the week. They're the type of players that they are, and they are where they are because of who they are. So when you stop doing that, you're no longer the player the coaching staff sees to put you in that position to succeed. So it's this little thing where we have to start believing more in each other. We have to start believing more in ourselves, because this is a perfect example. We're in a hole, and if we, this is the mindset that everybody outside of Seattle has. We're in a hole. A lot of people have that as well. But if we play out our games in hand, and we win them all, we're in playoff position. So people need to, keep in mind that this is a very long season. This is an MLS season. There's no relegation at the end of the tunnel. It's not win today or you're done. But for a lot of guys here, this is a situation where we are very conscious that we need to start changing things, or things can change for us.
Brad had sort of hinted at after the New York City loss that maybe not entirely, the entire locker room might not be sort of in it together. Do you get a sense of that, or is the unity still there that you've seen since you arrived here back in March?
Listen, I'm a glass half full type of guy, okay? But I'm also very self-aware of our situation, and when I say there's a lack of trust, you can read into that what you want. But on my end, it's believing in the guy next to you, that if I go and I try to beat somebody one-on-one and I make a mistake and I lose it, that guy's got my back. He's going to track back for me, and vice versa. That if it's a bad ball, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that ball doesn't go out of bounds, keep that play alive for my teammate, for myself. That trust. But those are things that are earned. They don't just come about. It's been difficult to get a healthy 18 all year. It's been difficult to field the same lineup twice. So that trust still hasn't been earned. We're professionals. This is what we do for a living. So, I'm sure you guys have heard this before. We need to figure it out. But that's the truth. Nobody's going to come down with a magic marker and put it on the clipboard and say, because I drew it up, this is the way it's going to be. There's not a coach on earth who can do that. I don't care who you're talking about. It's up to us to do the best to our abilities, to work together collectively, and to start getting results. As simple as that. This is a game that was a very winnable game. Credit to the Galaxy. They did what they needed to do. They capitalized on a mistake at the back, an unfortunate mistake, unlucky. But at the end of the day, there's not going to be an asterisk on this game and say one of our defenders slipped and we gave up a free chance. It's not going to happen. It's just another loss.